everyone, it's Amory, and I'm here today to announce the Amory's Book Club selection for November, which is Luster by Leilani. I've been meaning to pick up this book for a really long time. The first thing that I heard, or I guess like the essential thing that I heard, was a young black woman who gets caught in the open marriage of a white couple, like a white suburban couple. But what I found was it's a lot more complicated than that. That is something that happens. She does fall into this open marriage, but it isn't like she's propositioned by this couple, who also happen to have a young black adopted daughter. Although one could argue whether it's happen to have is how it necessarily is. If you ask the couple, they'd probably say she just happens to be black. But if you asked someone else, they would probably say there's a reason why they chose a young black girl. She's an older girl. She's a young girl, but she's still older. She's not an infant, and she's not a toddler. There's another reason why it's imperative that this situation does not implode. So the main character, Edie, works at a publishing company. She's involved in many relationships, not even relationships, she has many interactions, let's say, with lots of people. A lot of them being at work. She did not get the memo of not doing things where you eat. Like, she didn't get the memo for that. So she becomes involved with Eric before she ends up losing her job. When she loses her job, she ends up moving in, but it isn't because he necessarily invites her. It just kind of happens when his wife catches her in the home. And then it becomes this weird acceptance, pseudo-friendship kind of thing. You know the phenomenon in which a man is cheating on a woman, but the woman tries to find out information from the other woman, and what ends up happening is they develop this weird kind of relationship. It's not a friendship because they're still antagonistic toward each other. However, there's this like dependency that can happen. I think that has a lot to do with the relationship between Edie and the wife. And of course, with all of this, there is Akila, who is the young girl who knows what's going on because she's, again, not a toddler, she's a young girl. She's a preteen, and her whole thing is like, look, whatever's going on, please don't mess this up for me because I'm finally here and it's not perfect, but it's working out for me. So Edie ends up taking the girl under her wing, doing the things that the parents don't really know how to do. For instance, her hair. That would be one of many things. And essentially helping her navigate her preteen years, which I refer to as my angst years. Like, my middle school years were my angst years. They were just the worst. So although this book is about a young black woman who gets caught in the open marriage of a white couple who also has a young black child, you're really just witnessing what it is to be young, unsure, making all of the bad decisions. She's extremely promiscuous, but it's not because she just loves sex. She's looking for something. She's looking for herself. She is not grounded at all. She's lost and she's struggling to maintain, struggling to find some kind of center. And you feel that throughout the novel. Although she's really funny, you can see how much she's hurting. And this journey is so fascinating and heart-wrenching to see. It's been a really hard life for her, and it's been that way since before she was even born. Things were set up in a way that she would have a lot to overcome when it comes to her self-esteem. Like all of the Amory's Book Club selections, highly recommend. Make sure you join us with the hashtags Read with Amory, Amory's Book Club, and ABC. Also check out the IG Live conversation that we will be having at the end of the month with Leilani, so bring your questions. But if you really, really want your questions to be answered, it's better to submit them at ameriesbookclub.com so I can have them beforehand. And of course, follow us on IG at Amory's Book Club, and then my personal IG at Amory, and happy reading. Okay, so that's good. That actually went pretty well. I see what you guys did there in the design team for Luster.